Hi, I'm Tom from Advocult Motorsport, and in this video we're going to show you how to install your new boot floor system for the FD RX-7. So the kit comes in raw aluminium form. It's held together with simple fasteners, and we pre-fit all the riv nuts in here for you. You could keep it like this if you wanted, but you'll probably get a bit of glare in your rear glass. But what we do is we carpet them in just simple, I think it's called acoustic stretch carpet. It's very affordable. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to do it properly, but it really finishes the kit off. If you did want us to do this for you, we can quote you for that, but the kit does originally come just in raw aluminium, and it only takes a few simple tools to install. Okay, so the first step is to prep the boot. You need to remove your original carpet if you have it, and you can leave the spare wheel in there, but what you need to do first is apply the little foam to the edges of the boot plastics. So that goes in the boot, along the sides, and it's self-adhesive. It's a good idea just to clean the surface before you do it. You don't need to put it on this rear panel because that's already a raised height, and just down either sides. And what that's there to do is, should you decide to leave it in a raw aluminium finish, it just prevents rattles and things dragging on each other. And then the next step is to remove the hardware that holds the rear seat upright or the rear storage bin upright in place. And we give you these little standoffs, which you can literally just take the bolts out one by one and put one of these in. You only need a 12mm spanner to tighten them down, and that's the first step to getting the front bit of the floor in place. Okay, so the first couple of bits we're going to fit of the boot floor are this strengthening bracket, which goes towards the front, and this top panel here. So once you've tightened the hardware down, what we're going to do is just rest this bracket on top and make sure that all of your holes line up. Now, not every RX-7 is as straight as it should be, so should you have any issues with aligning these holes with the hardware, it might be a good idea just to loosen the standoffs off a little bit so you've got a little bit of play, fit this top plate and then secure them down. So now we've got the bracket on there, we're literally just going to place this panel on top, and we give you some bolts and washers. So now we've got those 2 bolts in finger tight, we can grab the other 2, put those in, make sure everything lines up, and go to the next step. Okay, so the front panel is in. It's not fully tightened down, we've just nipped it up, so it's still got a little bit of movement, and we're going to fit the main panel next. Now, this is easier with 2 people because the way the plastics are, they're tighter at the top than they are at the bottom, and we've designed this to fit quite snugly around it. What you need to do is try and manipulate it just a little bit to get it in. So you don't fit the brackets or anything yet, you do that afterwards. So we'll show you how that goes in now. So if you just get 2 people, pull it together. The idea is just to try and prevent yourself from scratching the plastics, and then we'll bring that down, and just like that it slots into place. So this is the stage where we're going to fit all of the brackets to the main boot floor. We haven't attached it to the front part yet because you may need to lift it slightly to squeeze these in. These are what support the lid that conceals the spare wheel, and they also add a little bit of structural support where they meet the boot floor. So we'll just go around and fit all of those now. So that's everything apart from the main lid, finger tight in. So this step is just to make sure that for some reason your car isn't diagonal and everything fits and everything's lined up, because what you don't want to be doing is doing some bits finger tight and then some bits really tight, and then you're trying to squeeze a fastener in. It's not structural, it doesn't need to be rock solid, but at the same time you don't want to be damaging hardware unnecessarily. So now we're confident everything lines up, we're just going to go around with our Allen key and nip everything up tight. Okay, so everything is nipped up. Again, it doesn't need to be incredibly tight. It's small M5 hardware for a lot of it. The only things that do need a bit more torque on them are the bolts that are attached to the standoffs for the back seat upright. So our final step is to install the spare wheel lid. So this is really, really easy. It literally just slides into place, and we give you this nice little fastener. Now, this lid is designed for to have a little bit of movement in it should you wish to carpet it, which means if you leave it in raw aluminium, it can move like that, and it may cause a bit of a rattle in the vehicle. If you are going to leave it in raw aluminium, we would advise you just get, say, a little bit of felt or something just to put on the bottom surfaces that it sits on, just to try and prevent that rattling. But we've designed this with the assumption that people are going to carpet it themselves, because it really finishes it off and it makes it look very nice. So that's the whole kit installed. If you do need to access your fuel pump cover, you have an inspection lid there. And that's pretty much it. The carpeting idea is great. It does take a little bit of time to do. Materials wise, it's not very expensive at all, but it really finishes off the boot floor system. We may, as we said at the start of the video, we may offer this as a service to customers, but it is quite labour intensive and that does come with an extra cost. But it's not a difficult task at all. It's literally just spray adhesive and trimming and folding the carpet round. But if you do need advice on how to do this, you can always contact us by email. And that's it. That's the boot floor system installed. We offer loads of rotary specific parts on our shop website, which is www.racingcult.co.uk. And if you have an idea for a product which you think would be a good solution, you can always email us as well.